Welcome to the first podcast on San Diego Prep Insider. I'm Tommy Morris. And so for this first podcast, we wanted to break down, the best players in the county for quarterback, running back, wide receiver. So I thought to myself, who knows the players in San Diego County better than anyone else? And naturally had to call Montell Allen. Montell, tell us a little about yourself, and we're excited to have you.
Oh man, thank you for the intro. My name's Montell Allen. I'm the owner and co-founder of SDFNL magazine and owner of NBA Sports Recruiting. Been doing it for the last 6 or 7 years. I've helped a number of students get to the next level as far as college, as far as the recruiting process is concerned. So I try to evaluate a lot of kids, understand the attributes, have kids understand the academics that come behind it, and then go from there. And then over the years, it's become more and more of a, I don't want to say expert, but more of a guy that's kind of knowing what's going on as far as the recruiting process is concerned.
Right. Something I love about you, before we even get into the players, you are good at getting these kids, not only the Division I kids, but the kids who are kind of in between, just looking for a place to play, bridging them with schools who are trying to get good talented players, but maybe don't have the means to come out to San Diego, and you make that connection. I think that's awesome.
Yeah. I think, and I can hold this title. I think out of every recruiting service in San Diego, I'm the guy that bridges everyone from Division II, NAI, and Division III on. Division I kids, again, they don't need my help. They don't need our help as far as they need promotion, but they don't need my help as much as the other kids do. Just because a kid that's running 4,000 yards, the kid that's blocking for him should be overlooked because he's just a little undersized. I think he should get the opportunity as well to be able to play at the next level. And that's my niche. I love helping those kids, giving those kids an opportunity.
All right, Montel, let's jump right into it. Since you are who you are, we're going to ask you for some, maybe not some known guys, because I know you know about everyone in this county. We'll start with the quarterbacks, though. Give me your top 5 quarterbacks and just a little bit about the guys.
Top 5, let's go. And I'm going to have to go with the junior from La Jolla Country Day, your alma mater. Braxton is just awesome. Braxton Burmeister probably right now is the most polished quarterback in the county. Even though he's a junior, his football IQ is off the charts. And his competitiveness, the way he's been doing everything, has been primo, next to none. People always try to doubt him about the competition level that he plays because he plays at Division V. But that doesn't take away from anything he does as far as his ability, his arm strength, the way he moves, his IQ. And he's competed with pro athletes. I've seen him on the platform where he's training with pro athletes, and he's throwing the ball and being more accurate than some of the NFL players. So this kid he's the real deal. He's bringing La Jolla Country Day what Rashawn Salam did back in the day.
Wow, that's big praise. Dang.
Yeah, I think he's warranted of every compliment I've given him. I think he's a very well-rounded, polished young man as far as the quarterback position.
All right, so if he's number 1, who's number 2?
Braxton, Dakota Miller from Mission Hills. Dakota, polished kid again. Only thing for the recruiting thing that's hurting Dakota a little bit is his height. He's about 6'1", but Dakota, very well-rounded athlete. He's actually better than people think he is. He can run with his feet just as well as he can throw the ball. Very accurate kid, has everything going, and this is his year to take Mission Hills all the way, I believe.
All right, Dakota's number 3. Who's number 2, Montell? Or number 3, Montell, excuse me.
Number 3 would be Spencer Moyer from West Hills. The big pocket quarterback, 6'4", 6'5" guy with a strong arm, rifles the ball. He actually reminds me a lot of Phillip Rivers, just like a hometown guy. Stays in the pocket and you just throw the ball anywhere. Got a cannon for an arm. Who I'll go for number 4 will be Lucas Johnson from Mount Carmel, the all-around quarterback athlete just committed to San Diego State.
Future Aztec, staying local.
Yeah. Staying home. Kid's just a phenomenal athlete, can move with his feet. In my opinion, he's working on his accuracy a little bit, but that's getting better. And he just tore it up in 707 this year, so I'm happy for him. I'm happy to he got his offer. And rounding up my top 5 will be the Helix Highlanders, Michael Austin. That kid is another phenomenal athlete. I don't know if he'll play quarterback at the next level, but he can burn. He can burn with the best of them. If he gets outside the pocket, he can either throw it on a rope or he can take it to the house. So those are my top 5. And I have a couple of sleeper guys that I know people don't know. I think Jeremiah over there at Christian, Nash over at Bahala. But the biggest surprise and sleeper is going to be to me is going to be the kid Casey Brown at La Jolla High School. I think he's going to do the same thing Colin Rugg did, and not better, because he's a better runner than Colin Rugg. That kid's phenomenal. And then the kid Gannon out of Olympia, probably the most underrated quarterback that's out there. Him and Posada from Bonita Vista. 2 guys that aren't getting a lot of love as far as the press is concerned, but definitely guys are right up there with the top guys.
So are these the guys you think will fall in the Division II range? These sleeper guys?
Actually, to be honest with you, I think that probably out of the quarterbacks, a lot of them fall Division One, Division One AA. A few will fall in Division II because that's just the nature of the beast because there's competition around the country. But I think a lot of these guys, especially the top three, we know Braxton's going Division One. I believe Dakota Miller will be going Division One, and Spencer Moyer, will be going Division One as well. And Lucas already has a Division One scholarship, and so does Michael Austin. So 5 of the guys already got 4 of the 5 already have Division One scholarships on the table. So I think the bottom half will probably get some Division One AAs.
Looks like San Diego's taking care of under center. So who's behind them? Who's playing running back?
Oh, man, running back. Let's go with Derek Clark. Cal commit already from Mission Bay. I think he's got it all. Two-way sport athlete. Kid's a burner. I call him beast mode 2.0. Straight up. So he's the real deal. I think he's going to be able to go to Cal as a true freshman and compete. Hopefully make it to that travel squad, and then he can leave his legacy after that. But he's also a phenomenal baseball player as well, so we'll see where he lands. After that is going to be Helix's guy, Nate Stinson. The run and burn guy. He's got some offers already. Stinson's going to probably be the key, I think, to Helix's season as far as, grinding out those leads that they get and making those big plays. He's a big bowling ball. Kid's a speedster. Well, I can't say enough about him as well. And then after that, we kind of got the cluster of running backs that's going. We have the kid from St. Augustine's, Elijah Preston. Guys, battle tested.
Smaller guy though, right?
Excuse me?
Smaller guy, right?
Smaller guy, yeah. These guys are kind of the smaller scat back type of guys. But Preston is obviously, one of the top guys with the yardage he's had over a couple of years, leading the Saints to the year they had last year. He should have another phenomenal year this year. We're also going to go with, right after that is going to be Adrian Petty from Christian. Same kind of stature, smaller guy. Scat back and get out there and do some damage and do some big things out, especially in open field. And the last guy that's probably on my list is going to be probably the kid from Point Loma. I believe his name is Jalen Griffin. Jalen Griffin is probably that kid that's surprised a lot of people. I got him a little bit slightly ranked a little bit ahead of Greg Bell, even though Greg Bell's already committed to San Diego State. He's a phenomenal back just like them, but they all fit in that same kind of, cluster. Smaller backs, really good at open field. I call them the Robbie Rouses of nowadays. You remember Robbie Rouse?
Oh, yeah.
Short guy, stocky, can move. So,
do you think that's a trend in football right now, that the shorter, stocky running back as opposed to the bigger guy? We saw Royce Freeman a couple years ago in San Diego County, but are the shorter guys now the running backs? Is that what's happening?
I think the trend is now running back by committee. So everyone wants a big burly back like Royce Freeman, or let's say Traylon Reed from Eastlake, and then you want to be able to counter with a smaller guy because everyone's going to the read option now. They want to do that read option, so you want to be able to get that smaller back either in space by giving them some bubble passes, getting them out of the backfield, get them some quick sweeps, and then you want to be able to grind it with a big back, grind that lead out and run hard up the middle. So it's a cluster of guys that can fit that mold. But those guys kind of fit in that because they've already had breakout years. They've already done what they've already put in the work to showcase that they're very, very talented. I think the kid that's the sleeper out of everyone is Darius Jackson from Madison.
Okay.
I think he's going to be phenomenal. Nicknamed Buck, and he bucks people when he gets in open field as well.
So why do you think he's been overlooked so far?
He was behind Isaiah Osborne last year.
Okay. The
senior. They went on to Sioux Falls University. Big kid. So, Isaiah had a big year. Then they had the quarterback that's over in Idaho. So this is Darius' year, I believe. I think he's a senior. I think he's going to be a leader. He has that big offensive line to run behind. I think he's going to make a lot of people surprised how talented he is.
All right, Montell, those are the running backs, but who are the receivers that are in this class?
Well, receivers were pretty top-heavy, big time. I think the 2 top receivers in the county, and I don't know who's 1 or who's 2, but Desmond Patton, Patrick Henry, the big 6'4" receiver who's been turning heads. I know Cal was on him really, really hard as far as recruiting him. And then the all-great Stephon McKnight, Mr. Human Torch himself. Both those guys bring a big dynamic to the game. 2 different styles. Desmond Patton is a more bigger type receiver, like a Vincent Jackson like we used to have. And the Stephon is like Keenan Allen like we have now in San Diego. Quick guy catches the ball and gets up out of there. So those are the 2 top receivers that come in. After that, we got Mekhi Stevenson over there at Helix. That guy, he's phenomenal. He's a little bit shorter stature at 6 foot, but he can play multiple positions. He can play the slot. He can play the outside receiver. Just a great guy. I know schools are really, really on him. He's phenomenal. Then we got Johnny McWilliams over there at San Marcos. People don't really know about him because he's a basketball kid. He's a really good basketball kid. But in football, he's very, very talented. He's a big guy, a red zone guy. Being 6'5", he can catch the ball in the end zone. I rank him up there because of his talent for football, but I don't think he's going to go football way when it comes to the recruiting. I think he's going to go basketball. The guy's a stud from what I've heard. I haven't seen him play, but I heard he's a stud on the basketball court. And then last but not least is Shaheed Madhum from over at Madison.
Well, that's a name right there. That's a name right there. That's a tough one.
He's a beast. I hope I pronounced his name right on the podcast. He's a beast. I think the kid is very, very talented. He's speed. He just follows that long mark of all those Madison receivers that came before him that kind of went to the next level. And then we have some sleepers. We had Quentin Harrison over there now, Bonita Vista. They transferred from the Division V school, Calvary Christian. I think he's due for a big year over there. And then we got Trenton Fudge over in La Jolla. He was behind the two big receivers they had last year, O'Neal and Broham, and now it's his time to shine. And I think, with Coach Carter's offense, it's going to be money. I mean, he's going to be the number one receiver. He should catch a lot of balls. He'll be over 1,000 yards easily. And then you have the Laquan Baccaro over Castle Park, who's another good kid, and Nick Sexton as well, who will both be sleeper guys that have really big numbers and open up some scouts' eyes.
All right, so there they are, the quarterbacks, the running backs, and the wide receivers. And I can't help but notice you got a Helix kid in all three categories.
Yes. Helix is they're the number one. They're going to be preseason ranked probably number one across the county, obviously. And, rightfully so. I think this is their year to kind of hopefully take it to state and win it. But, they're very young. They're still young, and they got to be proven. I mean, getting out of San Diego County is going to be tough enough with Mission Hills, and we don't even know what Oceanside is bringing to the table right now under the new realm, new coaching staff and everything like that. They'll always be tough as usual. I think with Akili over at El Camino, that's a whole new dynamic as far as offense is concerned because Akili Smith has transformed the offenses everywhere he went, from over at Saints all the way to Bishops last year, now over to El Camino. I think there'll be a whole different dynamic as far as offense is concerned. And then we got the East County boys with El Cap there. That's going to try to give Helix a big run for the money. Then you got Eastlake in the South Bay. I mean, Helix got his work cut out for him just to get out of here to make it to the playoffs. But they're definitely clearly number one right now with all the talent.
Awesome, Montell. Thank you so much. And you'll be joining us next week too, I believe, with your team ranking. So we can't wait to see that as well. Thank you so much for enlightening us with all the great players in the county, Montell.
Absolutely. Can I give a cheap plug real quick?
Do it.
SDNFLmagazine.com, NBAsports.com. Shout out to my man Ruben and my man Chris. Thank you guys for everything. We're making this happen. We'll be perfect. Tommy, thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Montell. We'll see y'all next week.
Perfect.
Who are your top 5 at each position? Let us know on Facebook and Twitter at SD Prep Insider.